We have moved to Dorado. Dorado is increasingly popular on the map. Like, teams have been going to this more and more and more and more and more. And it's honestly one of my favorite maps to watch. It used to be very defensively oriented, but teams have become very proficient at pushing through this first point very quickly. That said, when there is a skill delta between the two teams, you usually do see a lot happening on this first point. So going to be interested to see how these teams manage that. And it looks like E2G are actually going to be running a triple tank lineup for us here. So they will be running sort of the triple tank, triple support lineup on the defense as the payload does start rolling forward.
Very interesting. Veteran Junior on the hog as well. We're looking for those early picks. We need to make that Roadhog pick worth it. He's ideally looking for ASOX, to be perfectly honest. A nice juicy target in Reaper, but he's not going to be finding anything just yet. Oh, he's looking over the hill as well to see if he can catch someone trying to come over the edge. Is there a rogue Genji or potentially Hanzo coming across as well? So doing a good job there, but not able to find the mark just yet. Looking for Hanzo, not getting him.
Yeah, we're on board with Hanzo right now. What picks can Hanzo find? As it looks like the team is actually moving around. They are looking to engage very, very aggressively here. We do have a meeting of the Reinhardts. Lilbo getting stuck right in. Hex has actually managed to find that first pick, so does kill the stun. Reinhardt, but R2 getting so much value on this Zarya on the front line. Let's jump on board with him, see what he's doing, laying down fire into this pressed mass, getting good charge out of it as well. This is really, really high value for Zarya. Almost got a Graviton Surge already, so should be able to get huge value out of that. Ooh. Dragon Strike does come through super, super early, but doesn't find anything. Dragon goes unsated as everyone caught up in this Graviton Surge, and will go down nice and quickly. Veteran Junior was the one who gets nano boosted. Does have the whole hog as well. The damage that comes out of this is absolutely diabolical, but does lose the nano boost just as it starts sort of firing off. But they will manage to hold this first point. There was a close thing. Oh, Veteran Junior lands a hook, but doesn't actually land a kill shot.
Very nice. That was Lilbo, by the way. Credit for using the shield on Zarya to save it. I was watching Veteran Junior when Hanzo used his ultimate. By the way, hang on a second. ASOX coming on in with Reaper. Everybody getting out of the way. They know exactly what kind of damage that can do. And that the decks are going to get cleared. And as a result, the payload almost on the first point now, forcing out Sid with the Transcendent to try and stop the run. Graviton Surge towards the back of that gets everybody in a vortex, and they pick up 3.
Yeah, ASOX just finding so much damage there. He's been holding on to this Death Blossom, but he just hasn't needed it. He managed to build it up during the nano boost. It builds so fast when you have that damage boost on you. You can just get it so quickly, so teams not even bothering waiting for the full, Death Blossom to build first and foremost. ASOX getting into a good position here. This is actually a nice setup for E2G for this second point.
Roadhog, I was watching Veteran Junior, and he just hit E to restore health as Hexus had his Dragon Strike coming towards him, and there was very much, from his first-person point of view, it was a oh shit kind of moment, but he got out just in time.
That was such a close hook from Veteran Junior. He managed to fire the hook around the corner and try and catch ASOX there. And the Dragon Strike does go through, but trying to catch people on that high ground, but doesn't actually manage to find anything. Just no one being held in place there. Maybe a little bit preempted there. Veteran Junior actually getting this nano boost again, jumping down, but can he find the damage? He's getting into the back of Chubbs here. This should be a lot of her, but ASOX, meanwhile, does land the Death Blossom. Does get cancelled out of it. However, during all that time, Chubbs just landing so much damage. ASOX getting damage, Hexus getting damage in, and there's just not enough retaliation coming out of this 3-tank lineup. They're just not finding the hurt they need, and that's letting Tifa Tilt clean up and win these fights.
That was a good example, actually, of even though teamwork is so paramount in Overwatch, don't forget the base of that is all about individual skill. You have a couple of seconds where you're off point, and that could actually be a big difference maker instead. Because whenever... Oh, hang on a second. That's a 3K now coming on out for them, so they might be able to salvage this at the point. But Veteran Junior switching on to Genji, because in that last fight as Roadhog, he got nano boosted and then whiffed 4 out of his 5 shotgun shots. He basically didn't get anything done with that nano boost, which allowed Tifa Tilt to roll in. So we'll see if he's able to do any better on his... I want to say his favorite hero.
Yeah, it was super curious to see them put that onto the Roadhog, and put it onto the Roadhog twice rather than the traditional Reinhardt. Just Reinhardt gets so much easier value out of the back of that. The swap onto the Genji also has me sort of curious and interested and puzzled slightly. I mean, it is a complete change up of this tactic. Are they going to try and nano boost his Dragon Blade? I wonder, but he's not actually managing to build it that quickly here either, as they do just slowly grind their way forward. And they're going to be so careful here, because Flasher has another nano boost ready, and oh my god, Chubbs with the value charging it. There goes the nano boost. ASOX charging in right into the Transcendence, though, so will actually manage to stop a lot of this damage. But Transcendence actually leaves half the team. Everyone's just getting split up here by E2G. They're not finding the value they need, but ASOX actually gets killed by the heal grenade, so it doesn't get the value off the Death Blossom either, as the fight just divulges into chaos here.
And for the entire fight there as well. Oh, hang on a second. Veteran Junior coming with the nano-boosted blade. He's fighting off against Lilbo at the moment and is winning. He's going to have to put it back, though, looking for a little bit of extra damage from the Shurikens, deflecting McCree from Hexus. He has actually swapped on over there. Earthshatter coming out. Flash Orb into the ground. nothing he can do as Unga picks up the double, and all of a sudden Tifa Tilt are all over the place. It looks like that was just about enough.
Yeah, Veteran Junior, they're definitely saving everyone's hides, getting the nano boost, finding the value, finding the kills. I mean, it's a relatively, straightforward thing to do once you have that nano boost on the Genji, but he just executed it so perfectly, managed to find all the value that he needed, and then the Earth Shadow just cleaning up on the back there might have been a little bit excessive, but when you're this close to the point, you just want to play it safe rather than being sorry, and I don't blame them at all for using it. That said, Tifa Tilt are set up so well for this next fight. They're going to be so careful. Lil Bo's definitely going to be the one to watch here, as he does have a Graviton Surge, and E2G are relatively clumped and actually a little bit out of position here. They're going to have to be careful that they don't just sort of lose position on the payload. Everyone's clumped in one position. Where's the value?
Oh man, Graviton Surge, and we also have, oh excellent, Hexus coming in from the back, grabbing 3 people with Deadeye, and that is what they were looking for. The Graviton Surge didn't do much on its own. The Sound Barrier didn't do much on its own, but the sustained damage, getting the shield down and allowing Hexus to come in over the top with the triple is exactly what they were looking for there, and now we're in a situation where the payload will almost certainly reach this point. Yeah, they can't actually hold it out any longer, and that means 2 points on the board on Dorado here for Tifa Tilt.
Yep, and Hexus is just finding so much value on this McCree. Why wasn't he playing this earlier? He's doing so well, finding the kills, just getting the value out of these flashbangs, getting good engages, and really well set up there for Tifa Tilt in that last fight as well. Just the Graviton was perfect, setting up the McCree. The barrier went onto the McCree to make sure that he was safe, to get the value out of that Deadeye, get all those happy little skulls onto the enemy team, and get super, super good rewards out of the back of it there. So this is looking like a pretty solid push coming out for Tifa Tilt right now as they do start to move into this last push, but Onunga does get the nano boost, almost has the Earth Shadow as well. Can he get past, and can he land it though? No, he looks like he's just going to pull back. He's just starting to put his barrier up, so not actually much gained out of that nano boost. That's it. He's trying to bait, does have the Earth Shadow. Can he find the target though? I think that Chubbs is still too much charge on him. There's a great Graviton Surge, managed to catch absolutely everyone, but Isox is actually free to fight, and Veteran Junior gets the Dragon Blade out. Can he find the kills? 1, 2, no, not 2. Actually, Hex is still alive, just trying to get deflected. Does actually land the flashbang and does land the kill. So well played by Hexus there, just outplaying Veteran Junior.
Unfortunately, that's after Veteran Junior and Unga getting 2 kills each. So Hexus trying to put the team on his back, not really able to carry everyone just yet, though, because frankly, the tanks need to stay alive and they need to be staying touching the payload for it to continue to move forward. They're coming up to the first floor now, looking for round number 2. Very dangerous situation, this corridor, extremely narrow. Where's Dragon Strike when you need it? Never mind, that is an absolutely huge Earth Shadow coming now with Transcendence as well. And that's stopping ASOX from doing the damage he wants to do on Reaper. He's got this foot on it and he gets taken out before he can actually execute members of the other team. Veteran Junior picks up a double as well, and that was an absolutely astonishing fight in favor of E2G.
Geo did something during that fight that was so clutch. If you were watching, it was just incredible. The high noon was going off. Hexus had everyone in his sights. There was just no question that Hexus was going to kill absolutely everyone. Geo dashes forward, gets the boop, knocks him down the stairs, and suddenly McCree's out of position. He can't land the shots that he needs, and it just saves absolutely everyone. So well played there by Geo. Right place, right time, finding the position. That said, there's a Graviton Surge coming out nice and well positioned there. Veteran Junior, though, gets the nano boost on him, but he doesn't have the Dragon Blade quite yet. He's going to build that up nice and quickly. Does actually manage to dash out of range there of the Earth Shadow as well. Gets 1. Can he find the second? No. ASOX is just going to clean him up there with the Death Blossom. Of course, you cannot dodge all that damage coming out of Reaper shotguns. He just doesn't let you do it. But, Zua. It's actually a very, very beautiful sleep dart, but I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, ASOX will be able to get up again comfortably. We need the rest of the team to come in here for... Ooh, are they actually too far away? They need to get here in time. Sewer trying to sneak in the back. Just about manages to get on top of the cart, and that does buy Reinhardt enough time. Sorry, Zarya, rather. Reinhardt coming in out the back, but he gets taken out immediately. Hexus goes down as well. Both teams trading kills. Tifa Tilt, though, at the moment, 5v1. Veteran Junior cannot do this on his own. He goes down. The payload complete. And E2G are going to have to settle for trying to do this faster. Tifa Tilt get the 3 points of Dorado.
Yeah, they get all 3 points, but it took all the time on the timing again. Another incredibly close match between these two teams. They're just so evenly matched in these fights that it's just taking the entire time. It's really, really cool to see because it makes these matches super, super close. Now, of course, it's going to just have to push it all the way to the end. If they get a good defensive hold here, it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm going to be interested to see if they do stick with this 3-tank, 3-support lineup. I thought they had more success with the Mei Reaper, Ana sort of combo rather than trying to run the 3-tank, 3-support. So interested to see what they do with that. Also interested to see if they bring out the Genji again. Like, that was getting a lot of value. Veteran Junior was doing a lot of good on that, and Genji can be perfectly viable on attack. We saw Misfits, for example, do super well with not Misfits, sorry, FaZe do super well with Shadowburn on Genji. Of course, Shadowburn is arguably the best Genji in the world, but if you have a high tier Genji player, you might want to use him.
Yes, exactly right. And don't forget as well that we should think about what Sid needs to do as well, because poor Ana felt a little bit lost, I have to say, after Veteran Junior swapped off of Reaper onto Roadhog. The combos just didn't look as slick anymore, and while they got 1 or 2 nice ones from Genji, I don't really think they replicated what Veteran Junior was able to do on Reaper. So whether or not they're going to continue with that Genji, I mean, it's still early days because they are still in the spawn point, but I wonder if Veteran Junior is actually going to stick back with Reaper here and go, well, maybe it's not quite my time to bust out the Genji.
Yeah, I think the Reaper is a solid pick here, just because the team will be so clumped on this first point. They do like to sort of defend in this courtyard area, and if you can get the Beyblade in there, if you can get Reaper in there with the Nano Boost and the Death Blossom, he will just kill just about everyone. There's no good escape routes from that. There is sort of a couple of areas you can duck and dive into, but when he's speed boosted, he can follow you down, and there is no running from that. So it looks like both teams will be mirroring each other. They will be running this Mei, Reaper, Ana sort of comp, and it's going to be interesting to see how they manage it. And it looks like also Tifa Tilt playing very defensively, just playing very far back, not trying to get any early spam out. Of course, you've got to be careful with spam when Ana is on the field, because any spam that you don't get a kill on, well, that's just charging the Nano Boost that much faster.
Exactly right. The Nano Boost is just basically every team's secret weapon, or not so secret, I suppose, as they look for opportunities to just boost someone in and get those multi-kills. ASOX being very sneaky, trying to come over the top with Reaper. And there's no way in hell anyone was going to have an ultimate available yet, and that's because he's waiting for the Mei wall. He's looking for Sid, spots people in the back line, not able to get back to his team though, because the other Mei wall is there. That's going to be awkward. He gets taken down, as does Texas, who is now switched on to the Mei, and that actually gives Veteran Junior and E2G time to move forward and get into the marketplace. They are going to be able to one and done this.
Yeah, this is going to be one slick push. That was a little bit bold there. Like, the Maywall did a good job of splitting the team off, but then ASOX jumping in the back with like 5 other team members. And as good as ASOX is, I don't think he's going to be 1 versus 5ing absolutely everyone. He tried to get rid of the Ana nice and quickly, but of course she just heals herself with the heal grenade. It's, you know, it's a good use of it to keep yourself up and running. And so this is looking like a really good momentum push as well, going forward into the next stage. Veteran Junior already set up in good position, just forcing them back off this high ground, making it very difficult for them to get set up. Will also just put his back to the wall, get healed up there. May's actually come up to join him. They will wall up that little bit extra as well. And this is looking really good for momentum here. They're just going to carry on going. Chubbs drops down, does actually manage to find Anunga with the charge, will hold him down, but Chubbs is just isolated right now, could go down in good time, does actually get slept in the background there. And another Shadow comes out, catches 2, but it's just not enough. Lilbo managed to barrier himself, keep himself up and running during that fight, so it might actually be enough to just hold them back that little bit longer.
Lilbo was constantly looking for Reinhardt there and basically forcing him to whiff the charge into the wall before actually taking him out once again. So Lilbo just very strong and very consistent, knowing that when he's outnumbered, he's not trying to buy an extra couple of seconds and using his life for it. No, he's pulling back, looking for who he can shield, looking for how he can be absolute maximum value with Zarya. And that's what makes him such a dangerous player. We're moving around the dog leg again, and we're looking for Tifa Tilt to come down. Veteran Junior goes up with the nano boost as Tifa Tilt come down. A little bit of miscommunication there. He's back down though and trying to deliver the goods with the shotgun. Will be able to. The nano boost is not run out, and as a result, we do have a team wipe now. Flashor going down as well in favor of E2G. In fact, at the end of that, Ars Taru grabbing himself a triple.
And Veteran Junior was like just... It was so close to a perfect engage. It still worked. It was still good enough. Like, Nano Boost lasts long enough where it does work. But he did try and get the Death Blossom off. But McCree was just there waiting for him with a flashbang. He's still in a really good position right now. He's just going to jump down onto Reinhardt's back. And this poor Reinhardt, this is the situation you don't want to be in, surrounded on all sides by enemies. But meanwhile, ASOX goes into the back now with the Death Blossom. Will get Slap Dart in the back. But again, this Nano Boost lasts so long. He's finding so much damage. Can he get rid of the Zarya? No, just not quite. Sid actually managed to keep the Zarya alive during this fight. Will go down for her trouble, however. She's a little bit of a problem here, and it looks like it just might hold.
Maybe. I mean, ASOX right now is playing out of his mind. He's just I think he's gotten something like 5 or 6 uninterrupted eliminations now. So not only is he playing well, but E2G just haven't had the opportunity to go, hang on a second, guys, we need to focus this guy. It just hasn't happened. So he's able to do an awful lot. May now, May coming up to try and get that early pick off. Sewer, though, is going to be forced back. Very nice with Zarya and Reaper both potentially there. So that's a good bit of scouting on behalf of E2G.
Yeah, the May flank. That's not something you see too often. And ASOX is actually in a pretty dirty position right now. He's just sort of lurking up on the high ground. There's the high noon. Does actually manage to find too much value off. It does just hit barriers as a result of that. And Hila is still stuck in the back there. There's a good shadow, but it's countered by a great Graviton, so it's just holding 2 people in place. But there's the May Wall. Veteran Junior just skating over the ice rink that May set up and just getting so much value out of that Death Blossom with the Nano Boost, of course, finding tons and tons of damage. Zua and Veteran Junior cleaning up and pushing forward for E2G.
And now we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds for E2G to basically do what T for Tilt had to do in significantly less time. As we saw when we go to the second round as well, one of the beauties of the time bank system is even if you only have a minute, you can still try and push things as far as possible or hold another team, which is why T for Tilt are 1-0 up on the board. But it's just going to be that much more difficult if they're able to actually finish out on this. Oh, no! And that Reaper, actually, with the Nano Boost came in late after the Death Blossom had already started, and nobody got killed there. So that is a big, well, I guess not loss rather than win for E2G as they move back. ASOX is going to have to lick his wounds and try again.
Yeah, that was actually a huge, huge value play for E2G. They managed to sort of just weather the storm, and surviving that ult combo is incredibly difficult. So much value when you do find it. Can Hexus find a target? Does actually manage to take Anna out there. Will start putting pressure on Anunga in the back. Will just flashbang, cleaning him up there. Beautifully done. But can he land these hits? He's whiffing shot after shot after shot. Unfortunately, the Graviton Surge will just hold everyone in place, though. This should be enough for Hexus to just clean up on the background there. Oh, Arsturu has to try and withdraw. Can he survive? No, he's just keeping on fighting. He's just not giving up. There we go. Now he's starting to retreat. Might be too little too late. Can he get out and survive? If he does go down now, that's a huge loss. On 70 charge on Zarya, you do not want to die.
And you also don't want to die that much later than the rest of your teammates as well, because taking your time to come back into the fight, okay, they've still got 2 minutes and 15 seconds, but that's probably like 2 or 3 good fights that they want to put in there before things start getting desperate. So we need to be careful. Sound barrier coming in now as E2G move on in. ASOX trying to be sneaky in the back, but he is forced to wait for him to start things off. Zarya absolutely nailing him, and there is no chance for him to get away. Ours to Rue right now, hunting for the support, looking for Lucio, bumps into Reinhardt instead, has to be careful.
Yeah, and during all of that, Hexus was just got so much value off that Deadeye found the happy little skulls. Everyone just fanned out on this high ground, just set themselves up, and the Nano Boost went on to the Reinhardt. Reinhardt just charged forward, barrier down, let McCree kill absolutely everything. McCree on fire at the moment, finding all the value he needs. That said, there is a great combo for E2G in the back. They do have the Death Blossom ready, and they do have the Graviton Surge as well. So can they set this up? Can they find the value they need? Or can Flasher actually put a stop to that with the Nano Boost and try and find the value they need? ASOX is going to be good to go anytime now as well. Could be everything to play for on this last point.
Yeah, both teams need to find value. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Here comes ASOX. He's looking for the kills. He's got Nano Boost. He's got Death Blossom. But Veteran Junior is the person who's able to get the most kills in the feed right now. And he still has his Death Blossom available. So excellently shielded. I have to give credit where it's due there to Unga, who was able to hold the fort and weather the storm. And now Veteran Junior is going to be able to initiate a response. Sid also has Nano Boost available.
Yeah, so that's not something you see every day, right? ASOX didn't get all the value he needed off the back of that Beyblade, and Veteran Junior got more value without using Ultimate or Nano Boost. Now he has it. He's just going to start killing all of these tanks, no problem. Does get stunned up, but not before 3 people go down, and I think this is looking real good for E2G. They just need to push this payload within the next 25 seconds. I don't think Riskin can buy that much time, unfortunately. Otherwise, they're just taking this map. 15 seconds.
Unga getting run over by the payload by the looks of things. As we actually complete, he's asleep down on the ground and the payload goes straight over him, but it doesn't matter. We managed to complete there, and they have got time remaining, only an extra 17 seconds though. So minute 17 plays a minute, and now the question is, can T for Tilt do in a minute what E2G need to do in an extra 17 seconds? I have a feeling that it might buy them 1 additional team fight into overtime if they're lucky, but really we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah, it's such a narrow margin for it. It buys them that little bit of respawn time. It basically buys them like one mistake, one small death, where they can sort of recoup that 17 seconds. It's such a narrow time. Like, it's so difficult to hold on for that much longer. I mean, it's just, especially with the way the overtime works and the way that these teams fight around the payload and on the payload, you've got to wonder how much is it really going to adjust things. That said, I'm seeing a Hanzo pick, so it looks like Hex is going back onto this Hanzo. They have such little time. I mean, I've got to call it into question. Are you going to be able to build up the Dragon Strike? Are you going to be able to build up the Graviton Surge to get the real value out of Hanzo, that sort of unbeatable combo, especially when you have no Transcendence to sort of save it off? You just have Sound Barrier. Can they get this in 1 minute? I don't know.
I think it's a lot of faith in the team on being able effectively to win a 5e. Well, 5v6 is a bit harsh because Hanzo is a damage dealer. But basically the question is, if we win the first fight and I build up enough charge, then Dragon Strike might actually buy me comfortable space to go ahead and let us cap point 2. I think that's the idea there. Whether or not the execution, though, will prove him right, we'll see. Proof is in the pudding, after all.
He does actually manage to land that first arrow, so that's a good 20% there. We'll get a good Sonic Arrow here as well, so he should be able to spot out most of the team. There we go. He has vision of pretty much everything as they do start setting up to go around on this flank. Does find another arrow, but the question is, can they build up these ultimates fast enough as the team does push in? Maywolves just splits off half the team there. Chubbs isolated, will get killed off instantly, and that's disastrous for this push. You cannot push in without the Reinhardt. You're just at such a disadvantage. This gives E2G a huge opportunity here to try and push out a little bit, try and get a little bit more value, but they really don't need to. They can just buy their time, as the time is literally 5 seconds. No one's on the payload, actually. If this runs out and no one's pushing, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, that could end up being it. All right, we do manage to trigger overtime at least. Hanzo on 77, so Hex is maybe banking on having Dragon Strike. But now, never mind, he's got Dragon Strike. We're going to be using it, clearing the way, and this has to do damage. Oh, no, and nobody goes down. It does buy the payload a couple of meters, which could end up being all important, but that is not a point on the board. And Unga coming in now. Nano boosted, Earth Shatter, Lilbo in the firing line. He goes down as well. Blizzard to try and finish things off. Hexus now being nano boosted, but what can you realistically do? His fire rate can't be that amazing. Wow, getting ours to Rue. Is he really getting everyone else? Not.
There's a second Dragon Strike going off in that fight by Hexus, but it's just still not enough. It's Anunga's just swinging away. Anunga's still swinging away. That poor man has been WM1ing for a good while now. Chubbs actually managed to get back on the point. We do also have an emergency tracer to come out. Chubbs getting a great Earthshadow, but Veteran Jr. there with the Death Blossom will start cleaning up a lot of this damage. They still actually all manage to survive. Riskin's going to be so difficult to finish off as well on that Lucio. Good Graviton Surge actually manages to pick everyone back up. RT for Tilt doing this. Are they turning this around? Anunga says no. Gets a good charge off there. Will find value there, but everything's on Veteran Jr.'s back now to try and get the damage they need to clean this up.
Tilt have basically used all of their ultimates here. They have been absolutely impressive to get this overtime to go for so long. Flasher, though, continuing to try and hold as D.Va. We now have Riskin on top of the point. Hexus as Tracer. They're slowly pushing these guys back. It could happen. 5v4. Joe coming in with the sound barrier, but that's after ours to Rue is down. Siu is gone as well. Unga now with the nano boost. He needs to try and make this happen now and try and cut all semblance of a comeback out. But he's not getting the kills. He's swinging, but everyone's juking and jiving. Earthshatter coming out. Riskin's down, but he's on top of the point. No one's swinging for him. And this is an incredible fight.
And Veteran Jr. actually swapped back onto the Genji just to get back to the spawn, back to the fight that much quicker. Can he finish off Lilbo? Also, Genji's super good on these instances just because he does snowball in these fights. So once one kill happens, he can start picking up more and more and more. D.Va is the only one left. Flasher going down to his own bullets there. Does get deflected. Can they kill the D.Va in time, though? She's so small, so is Velt. So difficult to hit and just surviving long enough for Chubbs to get back on this extended fight on the payload. The bomb misses well. Pulse bomb not finding the targets it needs. Veteran Jr. almost got the Dragon Blade, however. That could be enough to just swing this fight. Oh, this is intense.
They have to keep touching the payload because overtime now is going to be going down so quickly. Even a second off of it will guarantee that they lose straight away. The overtime meter ticks down so unbelievably quickly, so keep an eye on Chubbs. They need to stay on top of it, not near it, not next to it, on top of it right now. Sound Barrier coming in for the defense as well. Tifa Tilt trying to finish this off. Arsaru coming in over the top though, and he's got Sound Barrier as well as Nano Boost on him, and that will finally be enough. The resistance is over, and they're not able to take the point.
That was One of the craziest fights I've seen in a while. That was incredible. That was also very, very difficult to capture on camera, so you had to bear with me there, as fighting was just absolutely everywhere. Well done by Veteran Junior to actually stay alive long enough, deal enough damage, get the Dragon Blade off, and sort of start the snowball to getting back into the fight and buying them enough time. Of course, it's not over yet. It is not over yet.
That overtime.
1 minute 17, they've got to push that first point. They've got to hope that their push is just as clean as it was the first time. They've got to just hope
1 minute 17. More like 6 minutes 17. Who cares about seconds at that point? Oh my god. That overtime was incredible. Really looking forward to seeing what these teams are going to be able to come out with here. But obviously, all of the pressure right now is going to be on E2G. 1 minute 17 plus overtime, which frankly could be quintuple that at the moment, to try and push the payload 80.66 meters.
Yeah, and ASOX with an interesting pick here. Actually, the entire team with a couple of interesting picks here. It looks like they might be going for an aggressive defensive position as well. So they're going to be going full aggro out of the door here. And this can be punished so hard. I've got to call this into question because you usually run this style of defense when you feel like you're a lot better than an enemy team. And I'm not quite sure that's true here. These two teams have been very even so far. They could get punished so hard for this. And if one of them dies, even if they get a 1-for-1 trade, it's not worth it here. So how are they going to manage this push?
Oh, and here we go. ASOX and Chubbs coming in. The Die Brothers instantly. We've also got Reaper moving on in here, and they're trying to get the early picks off. Nobody's died so far, though. Unga getting a little bit offside with the charge. He's going to get a flash or as a result of that. So big, because you will now not have that early nano boost. That charge simply cannot come in. And that's 3 kills the way of E2G. This is backfiring, like you said, Ohm. And this is not good news for Tilt.
Yeah, and losing that fight just gives ultimate advantage to the other team. It also gives them time to set up here. We can see Veteran Junior ranging forward, just getting into position to catch people as they come through these narrow passageways to get back to the point. It's so much harder. It's really going to be difficult for them to actually hold this off. And again, I've got to call that strategy into question. It's very, very bold, very, very aggressive. I can understand that you might feel like the tournament life is on the line, but is it worth it?
Nobody ended up holding at the archway there. In fact, everyone actually pulling back, going, hang on, we still have 20 seconds. Let's be very, very calm and collected about this and try and get those early picks off. Winston engaging with Primal Rage there. So Chubbs being very aggressive. So I like the fact that these guys are waiting, biding their time. Nanoboost coming in. Unga now trying to swing the hammer, looking for targets. Hexus actually gets pulled down. He gets taken out into Earthshatter, risking on top of the payload as well. Graviton Surge coming in. Veteran Junior with the Death Blossom over the top of Unga getting a double, but ASOX responding as well.
Yeah, we have a duel of the Annas in the background here. Sid actually getting the worst of it right now. Just duking back and forth. Will go down. ASOX trying to clean up here on the Genji. Of course, that Genji snowball could come into massive effect as one kill does lead cleanly into another. Mei buying so much time on this point as well, just dancing around. Overtime has ticked into position, so Mei has to survive. And no, they won't. We have a tie.
That's it.
That's it. Oh.
I mean, I was kind of expecting it to last, 4 minutes longer.
Yeah, to go another 4 minutes like we saw last time, but Mei just not managing to hold on that little bit longer. The duel of the Annas going the wrong way to hold on that little bit of extra time. So close.
Wow. And I believe
because they pushed it further.
Yeah, because it's not a case that, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not a case that both teams, for example, completely held on a capture point or something like that. They had the distance marker there, and that's of course what the time bank is there for as well. So I do believe that just means that Tilt win on Dorado.
Yeah, Tilt go 2-0 up in the series.
Yep, and that means that Tilt now will qualify for the upper bracket finals.